All right. Top chat, live chat. There we go. And we are back. And we are back. There we go. What's going up, Charles? Reliable, always in here. Still dealing with the same cough I've had for weeks now. I had a good, I did have a good rest. I had a good sleep last night. That I did. Hopefully get another one tonight. Hopefully. What's going on, Indianapolis? It's your girl, Grace. What is going on? All right, let me get my... Let's get things in order up here. There we go. Let's get things in order. Lots of severe weather. The CSU has us in severe weather all the way out to day 8. Lots of severe weather. Clearly. Thursday's looking a little more spicy. Friday could be... I don't know if I wouldn't just call it bad for Friday in Chicago, but it's a decent severe threat for you guys. You guys could go enhanced potentially. Some of these later models want those storms to initiate just to the south and east of Chicago Metro, though, which would really help Chicago dodge the worst of it. We can look into that in a second. Yeah, we can look into that in a second. Let me, give me 1 second here. All right. Where's it going to be worse? Hi, Yali. Connor's corny climate. Well, first let's talk about Thursday. How about we go in chronological order, guys? How about that? Let's talk about Thursday first. Here's our Thursday threat. You see the hatch marks. We'll talk about Lubbock in a second. We're going to go chronological. How have I lost like 30 subs in 2 days? I must have got a lot of subs in 1 day, and they're all expiring. Okay, so 15% hatch risk from the SPC. Alrighty. We're going to get the layout of what everything is tomorrow. The 4 panel. What is up, Claire? What's going on, MK? God, I've literally felt sick for weeks. Whatever is going on in my throat and lungs that's just making me constantly have to cough and messing with my sinuses is so annoying. Okay, so this hatch. What is this hatch? I don't know if this is going to be a tornado threat, but it could be. And here let's get into why. Well, here, let me put this back here. Let's get into why, and let's go through everything. All right, so here's our SIG-TOR. It gets pretty aggressive up here. It has it far to the south, but It has it in southeastern Nebraska. I think this is going to be farther to the north. We're seeing a lot of surface cape. You can't see it off to the left there, but it's 2,600 joules per kilogram. We're seeing a lot of surface cape, possible hazard. Tor, this is a very good looking hodograph. Tons of cape, really good directional shear down at the surface. So, look at this surface cape up here. Look at that surface cape up there. That's pretty nice. Surface cape is good. Dew points. Yeah, dew points look pretty good too. Low 60s. Get up into the 60s dew points. That'll do it. Including up in Omaha. We've got some good-looking helicity. Good-looking helicity up there. And through Kansas. I mean, let's look at our most unstable. Let's look at our most unstable cape as well. Yeah. It's interesting because when you look at the NAM, it looks like more of a threat down here and cut off this top threat. But let's take a look at the reflectivity real quick, and I think that might tell a different story. Are we in the HRRR yet? Ooh, the 00Z is coming out right now. Look at that. Look at that. That's telling a different story. Yeah, that's the 00Z. All right, we're going chronological, guys. We'll get past Iowa in a second. Here's in the Thursday morning. Oh, it's not going far enough yet. Here, let's hit the 18Z real quick. Let's see. What about our MPass? Man, not really seeing much. I mean, we did talk about this potentially being conditional. Thursday. And it's looking like it wants to be conditional. Let me go to the HRRR one more time. For Thursday. You see what I'm saying, guys? What I just said earlier? Where are we seeing this threat? Reflectivity-wise, cape-wise, SIGTOR-wise, down here. Not up here. So, unless that adjusts, we may see this shift to the south. We may see this whole thing shift to the south. Meaning, I think this hatched maybe closer to Kansas City. I think Kansas City may be under a bigger threat than Omaha. We'll see. But I think this thing might shift south. All right, let's get into the next day. That's something we really have to pay attention to. Boom. There's our day 4. Lubbock, isn't Lubbock out here? You guys aren't even in the threat zone yet, or in the risk zone yet. This is Friday. Dallas, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're basically in a risk zone, DFW. I think Kansas City could be in a risk zone 2 days in a row. We'll see. I think this thing is going to expand, but it's questionable. Again, there's some models that want this to initiate a little bit farther out to the east like that. Some want it to initiate a little bit farther out to the west. But a lot of cities could be involved in this. Kansas City, DFW, OKC, Tulsa, St. Louis, Chicago, Indianapolis, Grand Rapids, Detroit. So we could have a lot in here. And let's go and see. I think our NAM might actually push us far enough to see that. Let's go back to our 18Z NAM and see what's going on with the latest models on this. I'll start answering chat in a second. Let me just review this. So here's us getting into Friday, and there's this. We don't want that. Wait 1 second, guys. Let's just go to our reflectivity. There we go. Here's getting into Friday, And the NAM is not showing us anything. We'll use the Euro then. And here's that really messy squall line setting up. This to me, right behind it, this looks like we could definitely have some spin ups, some large hail, some strong winds. This isn't looking like the scariest setup I've ever seen for Friday. What actually looks like it may be more significant is this, the day after. Right here. This to me looks like we may get some, even potentially up to a moderate, just based on the composite reflectivity and the way and the direction that this thing is forming. I think this would have the capability of having more rotation, especially being farther southerly. We can actually take a look at this. Let's see. Is my NAM going to give me... I think it will. Let's look at SIGTOR params. Let's look at SIGTOR params for that event. Okay. So here's your Friday event. We need it. This 00Z might, but it's not loaded yet. We'll go into, really quickly, we'll go into our most unstable cape for Saturday. Right here. This event might be more significant. I do think it will. I do think it will be, but we'll see. How about for Dallas? Dallas just heavy rain. Dallas will have a hail, wind, and tornado threat. Potentially all 3 days. I'm not seeing any major... I'm not seeing any major tornado outbreak with any of these events, but there's going to be rotation. There's going to be rotation for sure. Thursday, there's going to be rotation. Friday, there's going to be rotation Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday. So Dallas is going to have to worry about some spin-ups for sure. Another issue, guys, and I talked about this in my video today, is this is our 5-day quantitative precipitation. Look at St. Louis. Down in northeast Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, into portions around Indianapolis. There's some large projections here, 6 inches, and a lot of this doesn't even start really falling until we get into hour 105. So this is really about 48 hours of rainfall because it's going to start really coming down as we get into Saturday. So late Friday into Saturday. So this is a flash flood issue for this region, potentially from the DFW all the way up through to Columbus, Ohio, I would say. We'll have to see if this is going to shift a little north or south depending on how models come out. But this is going to be another aspect of the storm we have to watch. We already saw what happened with Kentucky and a bunch of these other, the Ohio River and a bunch of these other rivers with this last big setup we had. This is pivotal weather that I'm on right now. You have your dedicated watchers around even if you've lost subs. I know, truly, and yeah, it's going to, yeah. This is all going to come with a big warm-up. I talked about this in my video today, too. We're getting a big shift in our jet stream. You can see this is what we've kind of been sitting in for a while. We've had some more ridging out west and troughing out east. This is what pulls in cold air. But we're going to go into a completely opposite pattern. We're going to be starting to see a pattern where we're going to have a lot of ridging set up west. This is what's going to help a little bit of severe weather, too. Once we get into this type of pattern, and you can see it right here, you got the troughing out west, ridging out east. This is going to be heat. This is going to be cool air. This is where you get that interaction, heat, moisture, dry, cool air. Lots of instability in this region for a week. We could have severe risk zones for 10, 11, 12 days straight. You've got your first jet coming in, pulling in those southwesterly, southerly winds. Second surface low right there. And then here we go. Third coming behind it. And then maybe a fourth right here. We're going to have some really... Our jet stream's going to really be setting up nice for severe weather end of April to start off May. Unfortunately. Mezzo, what's going on? Let's see, how many days of severe weather could Mezzo be in? Okay, we got 1, we got 2, we've got 3, maybe 4. We'll have to see. To me, Matt, I'm thinking if I had to favor a day where we could have the worst kind of tornado setup, I'm favoring Saturday evening into Sunday morning. What do you think, Matt? I'm favoring this setup right here. I'm favoring this setup right here. Right there. Look at that too. Look at that too into Sunday. I think this thing could drag beginning Saturday. Here we go. And then up through potentially Western Kentucky. Right up into the Midwest. I think this is going to be a nice little setup. I wish I had... Oh, sorry. My chat wasn't updating. Do not circle me. Yeah, I think Saturday into Sunday is the real... I think Saturday into Sunday out here is the real deal. You know, Friday... I don't know. Friday's going to be... Friday's going to be a lot bigger of a risk zone. But, I don't know. I think we could see the big twisty boys Saturday into Sunday. Strong ones. I think we could. You know what I wish I had, guys? That little hand. You know the little stick with the hand at the end that I could just go tap on the screen with? You know what I mean? I really need to get myself one of those. You just got an EF3. Where the heck was that? Let me look at these dew points Saturday and the Sunday. Ooh, that's spicy. Matthew. Mezzo Matthew. That's spicy. Saturday evening. And then Sunday. Ooh. Man, this doesn't want to stop either. It's craziness. Do not. Love that. Love that right there. Smooth. Smooth line. Pulling right from the south. What's the blue? Those are dew points in the 60s. Plenty enough for severe weather. Well, listen. Mesomat promised us live tornado footage this spring. He promised us. He said, this spring, I'm going to get a live feed of a tornado going through my backyard. Sir, he promised us. So, is Memphis... No rainbow, no more rain in Tennessee? Well, that's not going to happen. Sorry. Oh, whoa, I didn't even see. What's going on? Julie, what's going on? Pam, what's going on? Julie, what's going on? Julie again. L. Will. Liza, what's popping? Yeah, that would be cool footage, wouldn't it, Pam? Pam, you got a little risk zone coming on. I've been looking at this day 3, though, Pam, and I've been looking at the reflectivity. And I don't know if Matt's still in here, but most of this reflectivity on Thursday wants to hold severe weather south of Omaha. Okay, he's here. Let's look at the impasse. Let's just reanalyze this real quick. All right, let's go into Thursday. Okay, the impasse is doing some weird stuff here. Really weird stuff. Really kind of ignoring the risk zone completely. HRRR doing what I said it looks like was going to happen based on our surface cape. Based on our surface cape and dews and all the other good stuff. It looks like all this initiation that we're talking about wants to be to the south. Yet the risk zone, your hatched risk zone right now is up here. Again, it's conditional regardless, but this is where our hatched is right now with our SBC, as you can see. But to me, it looks like the hatched maybe moved to the south based on where the impasse and HRRR is initiating thunderstorms and the reflectivity. It's not matching up, guys. It's not matching up very well. You know what? What's the CSU think? Yep. I always say the CSU. CSU agrees. CSU agrees. Okay, guys. Can we make this bigger? Oh, I know what I need to do. CSU agrees. You see this initiation? Or you see this this zone? It's not here. We have a lot more going on down to the south. So even down here. So I don't know. The SPC's tripping a little bit, I think. Yeah, I don't know what all this is up here. I think this might get disappeared as we get into tomorrow. Was I looking at Wednesday? Oh shit, you're right, Matt. Oh, God damn it. Ay ay ay. You're right. Matt called me out. Oops, still looking at Wednesday. Okay, well I can deal with this still. I mean, this is just gigantic from CSU. It's even larger than the SPC. Interesting. Let's go here. Probability outlook. I don't know. I'm still thinking this gets moved to the south. Matt, what are they looking at? What radar are they looking at that has all of this initiation to the north? A little bit here, a little bit there. You know what it is? It's going to be... I know what it is. It's going to be this. It's going to be into the evening hours. It's going to be late Thursday. That's why. We're not even picking it up on the HRRR. You can see a little SIGTOR signal up here. Yeah, well, yeah, Matt, that does happen a lot. That does happen a lot where the reflectivity won't pick it up, but the atmosphere looks like it's going to be right for it. Or your radar, or your NAM, or your HRRR MPAS could just have everything capped, slightly capped, so it's not going to show any sort of initiation on radar. But they're expecting the cap to break. Yeah. Yeah. But it'll, yeah, like I said, it'll, yeah, I agree. It's going to be a conditional thing. We saw some pretty good soundings down here to the southeast, so. Shut up, Pam. Mystery fireworks. Thank you, Pam. Yeehaw. Adam Cowboy. Wait, it didn't even go on my head, Yali. I didn't even see it go on my head. Oh, it's because I didn't have my TikTok video out. That's why. It did go on my head. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Yali. I appreciate you guys. NTX, I appreciate it. Jess. Confused Blonde. Hey, Matt, did you already stream or are you going to stream a little bit later? You said I hit... Let me see. I appreciate you guys. Let them cook. Jess. Will it drop more down into Kansas? I think it may. I think it may. I think it may. We'll see. This is. I think what's happening is it's gonna be a late Thursday night type thing. Getting hot in a minute in the bathroom. I like how you pin that in the bathroom, so that the whole chat knows. All 270 people in here know Mesomat is currently going to the bathroom. This guy. Rochelle pinned it. Hey, everyone, chat. In case you didn't know, Mesomat is in the bathroom, going potty. Let me see. How's Chicago looking? Chicago's looking like we have a little bit of a severe threat on Friday. Here's the latest from the Euro. Is Grand Rapids going to be safe? I'm graduating next week. Well, next week is a different story. You guys could have a little bit of severe weather Friday evening into Saturday. So I also think this Friday threat is, I don't know if I'm going to call this conditional. We're going to get some severe weather. I think regardless down here, the one thing we're going to have here is we're going to have plenty enough cape. There's going to be a decent enough frontal boundary here. We're going to get some severe thunderstorms along this boundary. But I think it's questionable how severe. Again, I agree with Matt. I think Saturday and Sunday has the potential to be more severe. But yeah, that is Friday is something that we need to watch in Chicago. There could be some rotation up there as well. What's the weather going to be by me Saturday? Let's look at you guys on Saturday. Nasty and rainy for a lot of the day, it looks like. Gross. Looks like it's going to be gross. Look at this as we get into Saturday. Look at this rainfall up there. You guys could get an inch of rain on Saturday. Julie, yeah, shocker. I know. Shocker. What's the weather in Michigan Friday? You're going to have some severe weather moving over likely on Friday. Right now it's looking like it's going to be a later Friday type of event. Friday evening-ish, just based on our future radar. You can see the initiation happening around potentially Western time, like 8 p.m. Western, 8 p.m. Central, Western, 8 p.m. Central time. You know, if you're in northern Michigan, it could be a little bit earlier, but there's some severe potential up there in Michigan. This is our day 4. Severe weather probability outlook. You're going to see this risk zone expand a little bit, and we'll get a marginal and maybe an enhanced through here as well. It's not. I doubt it's just going to stay a slight. Minnesota's looking good. Look at our 8-day overview. Minnesota's not looking too bad. Tiny little marginal, little baby marginal down in southern Minnesota, but nothing too crazy expected there. Get day 5 and 6 away from me. I know. Well, you know those. You know we're gonna see. What about this? What about this? What about day 7, Matt? I don't know. Day 8 may be calling your name too. We'll see. We'll see. It's your time to shine again. Yeah, the SPC hasn't given day 7 a label yet, but guys, we're gonna see severe weather risk zones all the way out. We're gonna see them here. I think all the way out to like day 11. We just have our jet stream is going to be set up in a way. We're gonna have a ridging out east for a little bit, and our jet stream is gonna be pulling in winds from the southwest and from the south, and that's when that happens. You get lots of moisture funneled up from the eastern Pacific and from the Gulf of Mexico. So, like I was showing here, let's zoom out a little bit. This is our setup moving forward through the end of April. Boom. See this jet dip, and then here we go. This is when you get moisture pulled in. You get heat because you're in a ridge, and you can see this pattern. Look at this pattern. Hold. Let's go back to the 12Z. Hold. A little bit of zonal flow for a second, and then look. Back to that ridging. This is where you get all this opportunity for severe weather. And yeah, we're all back. I mean, we're staying out in this kind of ridge pattern out east all the way through. I mean, at least on the Euro, April 30th. So the longer you have the southwesterly and southerly winds pushing up into the central U.S., the longer you're going to be in a threat for severe weather. So yeah, call that positive PNA, negative PNA. It's gonna be moist, Matt said. Oh gosh. Oh no. Read SPC day 4 discussion. All right, 1 second. Sorry. All right. Day 4 discussion. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the day 4 discussion, chat. Megan, I appreciate you. SPC day 4. Here we go. An active severe weather pattern expected through at least this weekend before predictability diminishes early next week. Now it doesn't. We know what's happening. 31 Roses from Natahara. I appreciate you. Guidance remains consistent with a broad swath of strong mid-level southwesterlies from the southern high plains to the Great Lakes, downstream of a long wave trough from northern Someone elaborate? This will overlap a similarly oriented surface front in response to increasingly mid-level height falls. A surface cyclone should trek across. It will trek across the central Great Lakes portion of the baroclinic zone during the day. Okay, afternoon severe may be focused in this region. I need stronger glasses with stronger low-level shear. Parts of this region may warrant higher probabilities in later outlooks, which is what we're talking about here. Potentially, that's what I was talking about into Saturday and Sunday. I think it will amp up. Here's Saturday. Amplification of an embedded northern... There we go. Amplification of an embedded northern stream shortwave impulse should sustain an expansive swath of strong mid-level flow from the Ohio Valley northeastward. The northeast extent of... Guys, I literally can't read right now. This is too hard for me. Appreciable instability overlapping with this regime. Listen, what it's saying is we have the baroclinic zone is the zone in between the hot air and the cold air. Okay. It's where your air boundaries are colliding. Friday, we have a squall line type setup. QLCS setup. As we get into Saturday, we have a surface low developing down here that looks to have a more impressive ejection through the southern plains up towards the Midwest, creating a higher level of instability and potentially calling for enhanced risk zones. Okay, that's all it's saying. Omaha. What are you, Peyton Manning? No, yeah. Omaha Thursday night we're watching Omaha. Omaha's in the hatch zone. Omaha's in that 15% hatch risk from the SPC, so we will be watching Omaha Thursday evening. I would have weather alerts on if you're in that region. So what you're saying is the only thing about Friday that is good is I don't have to work, I guess. We're so cooked. No, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Matt said, do you need my help? Listen, reading's never been my strong suit. Why are they using words like appreciable? How does Grand Rapids look for tornadoes? I have a problem that day. I don't know what to do. You could get an EF0 up there. Your tornado chances don't look too crazy up there around Grand Rapids. They're big words. Yeah. And they used the word breath the other day. Yeah. Listen, sometimes the SBC just pulls out language that I'm like, this just isn't necessary. I could have summarized that way easier, but they want to get all scientific. Like, instead of saying like Saturday looks like we may Our low level jet may amplify. And we may experience a greater level of instability throughout the southern plains, up through portions of the Midwest, getting later into the day. They'll turn that into like 4 paragraphs. Come on. I'm gonna start dropping it in ChatGPT and saying, summarize. Yeah. So again, we do have a threat. We are under a 15% risk zone outlook from the SPC on Friday up there in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Right now, I'm not expecting any sort of major tornado threat up there in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We do get dew points into the low 60s up there. Let's look at what our unstable Cape's doing. I mean, we'll see. We could have some rotation up there. Let's go to our HRRR real quick. Actually, our HRRR isn't seeing it. Our HRRR isn't seeing it a Friday. So tomorrow we're gonna have really good. Tomorrow we'll have our. I think tomorrow night we'll have our HRRR into Friday night, so we'll be able to see a little bit better about what's going on from Chicago out to Detroit with that severe weather. Right now, I'm not expecting. Again, I almost can guarantee we're not going to see a tornado outbreak. We're going to see tornadoes very likely on Friday. It's just such a wide risk zone or long risk zone. But there's a few things missing from the equation for it to be a major severe outbreak. Specifically, our jets aren't jetting that hard, guys. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. Let's go back to this really quick. I'm not impressed by this. Let's go into Friday. I mean, low-level jet's okay. Mid-level jet's decent. But how about for Southwest Michigan, like northwest of Detroit? Wait, what? What? Southwest Michigan, like northwest. How is Southwest Michigan? Southwest Michigan is way. Southwest Michigan and northwest of Detroit are like 2 different complete areas. Southwestern Michigan, same thing as Grand Rapids. Same kind of explanation. It's going to be like 75 degrees in Grand Rapids too. Yeah, you're going to rain on Friday. You're going to get rain. You're going to get thunderstorms. The question is, how severe will they be? Oh, southeast? Yeah, I mean, you guys are in that same kind of scenario as Grand Rapids. The farther east you get, though, I think the less intense your weather should be. Let's see here. I do think we could get a decent. I do think we could get, like I said, we could get a decent spin up into Saturday, Sunday. So, Kentucky Saturday is probably going to be your day. I'm really watching down here, though, Southern Plains on Saturday. I'm watching this region. I think we could get something spicy down there in that region on Saturday. What's the storm timing for Fort Wayne that day? Easter. Fort Wayne, what, Indiana? Let's see here. Let's look at Fort Wayne. Yeah, this looks to be a Friday night type of thing. I mean, this is going to be around 8 or 9 Central, 9 Eastern, when the severe weather starts to move through Fort Wayne. Then you guys are going to have a good 48 hours straight of thunderstorms. Fort Wayne could experience some thunderstorms throughout the whole weekend. Yeah, it makes up East and West, but you're good. No problem. Please no spice for Oklahoma. What's going on, Kayana? Yeah, there's going to be a little spice for Oklahoma Saturday. I'm sorry. Saturday and Sunday, I think, unfortunately. I think we may see this. broadened a little bit like that, but we'll see. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Let's chat about Saturday, laugh aloud. I'm in that risk zone. Saturday's interesting. Here's the latest Euro. Again, you know, directionally, what's happening out here is impressing me with the radar. But what we're seeing happen down here, is impressing me a little bit more. Let's go back to our Cape. Yeah, I think the DFW is southeastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas on Saturday. How's Omaha looking Thursday? I'd say, yeah, we're going to get our day 2 outlook tomorrow. So we'll have the 4 panel and be able to really break it down and be able to look through the HER. Right now, I'd say you're getting some decent SIG Tour params up there. Dew points are where they need to be. It's conditional. There's going to be a cap that may or may not break. If the cap breaks, we could definitely get a SIG Tour up there in and around eastern Nebraska, in and around the northeastern Kansas, northwestern Missouri, and then eastern Nebraska, western Iowa. It's possible to get a couple twisty boys touching down there, potentially SIG Tour. So I'd pay attention closely. We'll have our HER model out tomorrow in MPAS. We'll be able to really dive in and see where the worst could be. I see 11 watch 34 thumbs up. Guyan, I appreciate you. What time do you think the severe stuff will happen in Grand Rapids? Looks to be later. Friday. I think this is a Friday night thing for most of Michigan. Sometimes these storms speed up or slow down. We have a little bit of time for that to change, but that's what it's looking like right now. Not really a morning thing. Enchanted area, you mean enhanced? Yeah. What do you think it would be? If an enhanced area was put into place for Friday, I think it'd be on the southern end of this thing. I think it'd be down here. We'll see though. I mean, we could get a small enhanced that runs up and down this boundary inside the slight. Let's go to our day 4 real quick. This area down here looks like the most impressive for me on Friday, but we'll see. It's not hard to get an enhanced. They might just put it down the middle of the slight. They might pull that enhanced all the way up to Chicago. I think we may get. It's not hard to get an enhanced. I think we may get an enhanced. What does it start? It depends where. Most of this initiates really late afternoon, early evening. Like is the initial. I mean, when most people are off of or getting off of work or about to get off of work, this is when most of it initiates, and then through the night on Friday and into Saturday morning. This is moving off east. It's snowing in Buffalo right now. Oh yeah. Huh. Would you look at that? Nice. Will Chicago be bad Friday? It could be. We don't have short range models. There's still a lot of time for a lot of this to change before we get into Friday. Like I said, there's some models that do want a lot of these severe storms to initiate off to the east of Chicago, to the south and east. And if that happens, you guys might completely dodge a bullet. So I'm not ready to completely just be like, oh, this looks really bad for Chicago, because if these storms initiate a little bit farther east, you're not even going to get any severe weather. It's going to be a close call. So I kind of want to wait to get the short range models for you guys. But if they do initiate before they enter Chicago, if anything's up in the air, hailwind, potentially tornadic activity. How's Easter looking for Ohio? A little bit wet. Humid. A little bit wet, a little bit humid. Here's your Sunday though. Severe weather staying down to the south and west. Here's your Easter forecast right now. I think this will expand a little bit, but we'll have some rain up in this region, but not severe weather most likely. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. I bet it's okay, but yeah, that Lime Friday could produce tornadoes. It could still, yeah. Yeah, we'll have our short range models for it tomorrow. And we'll be able to get into good detail. So Friday tomorrow, guys. Once we get within 48 hours of a severe weather event, we get a lot more tools to look at to really understand, really break down what we're going to be looking at. Yeah, I'll hit up the weather gods and ask them, can you just not? From Lily. 1 second, guys. I'm back, Chad. Thank you to the 17 people that followed me. Doobie said L live, to be honest. Rough. Let's see here. What time will be you? What time will you be? Oh my god. Okay. What time will you be going live tomorrow? What time will I be going live tomorrow? I don't know. Hopefully 9 or 8. Hopefully 8:30 or 9. I gotta find a new gift and have him save something different. Oh gosh. Nah, I mean, I did get a good sleep last night. But I'm gonna get a good one tonight too. This is my last week in the office before I'm working from home until my wife has the baby. So I just have I have a lot of stuff to get done at work because pretty much I have to wrap up a lot of the projects I'm working on. Because I'm gonna be out for a couple months, and so I'm kind of cramming everything in this week, so it's a little bit busy. When should I expect weather in Savannah, Georgia? Well, do you see this H floating around down here, guys? Do you see this H? Well, there it is. See this H floating around down there? This is going to really keep a lot of the bad weather out of the southeast for a while. Check out the southeast. Look at the southeast. Look at the southeast. You don't even get any... Isn't that, look, some little showers maybe moving in as we get into next Monday? You guys are really protected by that high pressure for a while. You guys have got to be entering a drought. Look, I mean, we don't see any really significant weather moving in until the end of next week. Yeah, you got a high pressure station down there, so you guys might have a pretty nice weekend. Pretty nice week and weekend. Yeah. Yep. All high pressure is air that's converging above you up near the tropopause. The air runs into each other, and then it's forced downwards. When you have air that's being forced downwards... evaporation can't occur. Evaporation can occur, but the moisture can't lift up into the atmosphere to form clouds because you have air molecules that are being forced down. That's keeping that moisture at the surface.
So that high pressure's floating around down here in the southeast is gonna choke out any potential rain or thunderstorms for at least another 5-6 days or something like that. We'll see what happens from there. Can you teach me how to read 500 millibar height, wind, and temperature? I could probably do that. I mean, here. Are you talking about this? You know, these all kind of show the same thing. Here's your height and wind. All we're adding, you know, all we're adding with that other one is temperature. All these colors represent is the velocity of the winds at the 500 millibar level. You know, the 500 millibar level is halfway up the atmosphere. We're sitting down here at about 1,000 millibars, and the top of the troposphere is at 100 millibars. That's where, you know, that's the troposphere. And then above that is the stratosphere, where not much weather happens unless there's a major thunderstorm punching through the tropopause. But 500 millibars is just halfway above our heads. It's where most weather occurs. And all we're seeing on the height and wind here, you can see our wind direction, and the velocity of the winds based on the changes. Now you can also see your high pressures on here. This is clearly a high pressure. Okay, right here. This is clearly a high pressure. Now, do you know how to tell something's a high pressure or low pressure? Winds are you can see the wind barbs in here. They're circulating clockwise. You can see the winds in here. They're circulating counterclockwise. Around this, that's a low. Around this, that's another low. You got two separate lows here. So winds are always gonna. So what's happening here? You have a low pressure funneling. You have winds funneling in between our high pressure and in between our low pressure. And when that happens, you get what's called a trough ejection, and you can get some very intense rotation in between these. This is Saturday into Sunday, by the way, right over Owensboro, Kentucky. Anyways, but yeah, all we're doing on the 500 temperature, height, and wind map is we're just accounting for our temperatures as well. Our temperatures up at the 500 millibar level, which can be really helpful because that's where you can actually take a good look at the baroclonic zone, where you see your right here, where you see that temperature, that steep temperature difference, that steep temperature gradient, and that's along the line where you can get severe weather forming, or at least you can get cold air sinking, warm air rising down through here and up through here. Yeah, shoot me an inbox message. Let's see here. How is Southern Michigan for Friday? Are we safe from the storms? You guys are in a 15% from the SPC. So, you know, it's not looking super severe. But as of now, and we're gonna get our short range models for this event tomorrow. We'll be able to see 48 hours out tomorrow evening. We'll be able to look and see what's going on, reflectivity wise, and some of the other, you know, we'll be able to take a look at SIGTOR params and all sorts of interesting stuff. But right now, there's the possibility of rotation up and down this boundary, hail and strong winds. You know, it's not the most severe setup I've ever seen, but it's something that you'd want to have a way to get weather alerts on Friday. Again, once we get within 48 hours, we get a lot more details on the severe weather. This is just outside of that. I did a shout out for you my last live. I'm sure you'll get a lot more live watchers once. Yeah, that's usually how it works, Kellyanna. Yeah. A dry line. Yeah. I went to school for meteorology at FSU. And I left after my junior year. And then I just kept learning for about a decade. Stuff happened. Personal life happened. Considering going back and finishing the degree, but right now, money-wise, time-wise, it doesn't make much sense. I also don't want to be a TV meteorologist. They get underpaid and overworked, so I'd have to think about what I'd want to do with the degree. There's a lot of stuff I can already do without it. So we'll see. We'll see. It's annoying to get that close to getting it, and it's annoying to get that close to getting it and you know, not. So it's annoyed me for a little bit, but does this actually mean severe weather because it doesn't show on weather app? No, yeah, this is the SPC's date for severe weather outlook. No, I don't expect it to make its way to Georgia. Again, like we've been talking about, we've got a high pressure sitting down there in the Western Atlantic for quite a while. And this thing is going to be protecting the Southeast for a while. You know, it's got these clockwise winds that are going to be it's got this clockwise rotation around the high that's going to actually be deflecting a lot of this up to the north. It's going to keep the Southeast much drier than the rest of the Central Plains out east. AccuWeather has a different story. I don't care what AccuWeather has. I care what the Storm Prediction Center in Colorado State University has. What does AccuWeather have? AccuWeather. Oh, it says under maintenance. What? What's AccuWeather's story? What is it under forecast? I never use AccuWeather. Storm potential outlook. What is this? I don't even know. Oh, it has rain every day in the southeast. Look at our Euro's total quantitative precipitation. Look at our Euro's total quantitative precipitation. This is all the way through. This is all the way through Monday. Look at the southeast. Look at the southeast. Dry. Let's take a look at the GFS. What does the GFS think? Okay. This is through, I mean, this is through Monday as well. This is about a trace of rain, the light green. Again, a lot of the southeast. I mean, you see some rain down here in Alabama, Mississippi. This is like a trace to a half inch, that light green. This is the significant rainfall right here. So a lot of areas down here are going to stay dry. Charlotte through South Carolina. Atlanta, it has you getting a 20th of an inch over the next 5 days, basically. So, no problem, Tanner. Yeah, the pinks are getting closer to 2 inches. Reds, you're getting closer to 3. And then you got these oranges getting closer to 5. Kayana, what are you asking about the dry line? For what day?
Yeah, Michigan's had some damaging wind events a few times already this year. Yeah.
How's South KC Metro looking like? Let's go over our let's look at our outlooks here. A little bit of a threat. A little bit of a day 3 threat. I actually think you'll definitely get some thunderstorms through the region. Might not be severe on Thursday. This is probably going to expand Friday. I do think you could get a little bit of severe weather on Friday. And then, you know, we'll have to see. Our day 5 and 6 keeps everything to the south of you. Again, these risk zones will expand and move. They're far enough out to where these could be a threat for Kansas City. I think this one will be a small threat for Kansas City on Thursday. So we'll have to watch Friday and Saturday for you guys as well. Northeast Ohio, are we expecting snow? We can take a look at our snow outlook real quick. I don't think you're expecting snow in Northeast Ohio, but I haven't looked at the snow outlook in a little bit since we're getting into mid-April. Look at the Rockies, though. Let's take a look at our 5-day snow outlook. A little bit more up here in the northeast. Potentially a tiny bit into the Twin Cities. We'll have to see about this. Rocky's definitely getting a good pack of snow, though. They're getting some troughing out here. See that snow beginning to move in Friday, Saturday. Why does day 3 and 4 not have us? Because it goes through us, but not severe risk. Well, where are you? Yeah, we had a few severe weather events that brought strong winds up through this region here. Winter's over, but oh yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying, Kayana. Makes you mad that you weren't in it. You want the severe weather? Yeah, I'm out near Philly. It was very windy today out here. It was very windy up in the Northeast today. We had a marginal wind threat. We did. Nashville, Tennessee for Saturday. Here's your Saturday outlook. You guys are already in this 15%, and I'd expect this to expand. So, timing-wise, we can take a quick look at what the latest Euro has timing-wise for you guys Saturday. It's interesting because on the future radar, on the Euro, it doesn't even really have that severe weather entering into Nashville. Let's go to our GFS here. The GFS does. The GFS has potentially Saturday evening. Some bad weather moving into Nashville Saturday evening. The Euro keeps it just to the north. I think that's going to have to do with this high down to the south. That's going to have to do with this down here and how far to the north it keeps this moisture. So the Euro and GFS actually don't agree on the Saturday setup. That's something interesting. That's what I'm talking about with these risk zones, 4 and 5. We'll see it change. We'll see it change over the next couple of days. They need to agree on where the high pressure is going to be to the southeast. We're staying at a hotel in Nashville on Saturday. Do you think we'll be okay? Yeah. Saturday again. Nothing yet is looking like one of those like I keep saying it, but the April 2nd event with where we have like 800 severe weather warnings and a massive tornado outbreak. We're not seeing anything like that right now. We're seeing some severe weather multiple days in a row through the weekend. Nothing that I'm looking at and being like, ooh, this could be a big severe weather outbreak or this could be a big tornado outbreak. So, I wouldn't be like overly worried if I'm in any of these risk zones right now. I would just make sure that I'm weather alert on those days. Just have a way to get watches and warnings, but it's not the scariest setup yet. Yet, keyword. We'll have to watch how it changes. Could downtrend, could uptrend. Weather's variable. Does whatever the heck it wants. Friday's your highest risk in Chicago. It looks to be a late afternoon, evening thing. So, we could see things initiate as early as 3, 4 p.m., but I think it might be later than that. Again, there's some models that want these storms to initiate out to the south and east of Chicago, which, if that were to happen, you'd miss all the severe weather Friday. You'd be perfectly fine. But if it initiates out to your west, you could get a little bit of bad weather. No problem, Camille. Yet. Yep. Detroit's in that Friday warning as well. Detroit would be a little bit later, though. Detroit would definitely be evening hours into the nighttime. Biggest threat you guys would probably have would be wind. But we could have rotation up there in Michigan, too. Brazil, Indiana. There's a Brazil, Indiana. Learn something new every day. Brazil, Indiana. Hey, would you look at that? West Central. This is going to be a Friday threat for you as well. You guys Central time. This could be around 8 Central. Give or take 1 or 2 hours. 8 p.m. Central on Friday. And depending on how this goes, you know, I would say we're talking about the potential for flash flooding from Indianapolis, like I said, down to the DFW area. So through St. Louis. So I think you could get rainfall Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Brazil, Indiana. It could be a very rainy, potentially couple different patches of severe weather through this weekend. Well, chance for what day? You know, the only day we really have short range for is Thursday right now. So it's really important to have short range models because of how localized each threat is going to be. So we technically don't even have the short range model for the Thursday event. We'll have it with the zeros tonight. We will at midnight. We'll have it with the 00Z, and we'll be able to nail down Thursday. Tomorrow we'll be able to nail down Friday. Tomorrow night we'll be able to nail down Friday and see when we expect the worst weather to be. Right now, I'm watching down in this region for both Friday and Saturday. The southern portions directionally just look better. Do a random poll for what, Santi? What's the poll going to be for? Weather deja vu, I know. God, why am I always so parched these days? I used to never drink any water. Now I'm constantly thirsty. Not seeing too much severe weather in PA's immediate future. Not seeing too much severe weather in PA's immediate future. Camille, I appreciate the follow. How's Chicago gonna be for severe weather Friday? Yeah, we've talked about Chicago a lot tonight. I feel like that's all we've talked about. It's still a little up in the air. Chicago right now, tornado, wind, and hail threat is all a possibility for Chicago on Friday afternoon into the evening hours. But like I've said, there's some models that want the worst of the severe weather to initiate off to the east of Chicago. If that were to happen, you would see no severe weather. So tomorrow night, we'll get into our short range models for Chicago for that Friday event, and we'll be able to dig through it and really understand what's going to happen with those thunderstorms initiating. Yeah, we got a lot of Chicagoans in the stream. That's okay. I like you guys. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, I mean, again, Saturday there's a threat through almost all of Kentucky for severe weather. I mean, really the whole state of Kentucky. I'm not seeing anything that makes me go like, wow, we could see a big severe weather or tornado outbreak on Saturday in Kentucky. Could we get some spin-ups? Yes. Could we have some decent-sized hail? Yes. Could we have some wind damage? Yes. Nothing crazy yet. One of these days is probably going to uptrend, though. And the day I think is going to uptrend, personally, is Saturday. We may see Sunday uptrend as well. I think Saturday is going to uptrend. Saturday and Sunday might. I think Saturday and Sunday might uptrend. I don't know if we're going to see much of a big uptrend on Friday. Just based on the things I've looked at. Who's lying, Santi? Sam, what's going on? What is going on? Brenny, Lily, I appreciate you guys. St. Louis, Missouri. And I've talked about this. We need to watch a flooding threat this weekend. Look at all that rainfall. This is going to be a lot of this rainfall is going to be within 48 hours. We could be looking at 5, 6, 7 inches locally. So you guys do have a few days where you could see a little bit of severe weather. Thursday into Friday. Friday into Saturday, we'll be watching St. Louis. Friday's probably going to be your biggest threat for severe weather, but who knows? This day 6 on Sunday, I think could expand. This is one of those days I think could uptrend, and we could get a little bit of severe weather in St. Louis unfortunately, on Easter as well. Yeah, tornadoes are a possibility with any of these severe weather. Risk zones. I mean, we're getting into late April and the spring. This is where most severe weather setups come with the possibility of tornadoes. May is typically our most active tornado month. So the closer you get there, a lot of these severe weather setups are going to have what they need. There's going to be enough energy. Although it has a lot to do with directionality. But like I said earlier, our jet stream is going to be pulling in a lot of southwesterly, southerly winds. That's going to be interacting with these westerlies to the north. So there's going to be a lot of rotation on most of these storms. Butler County where? Memphis on Saturday. Yeah, I mean, Memphis has a severe weather threat on Saturday. Right now, it has you outside the 15%. I can almost guarantee you this will expand a little bit. Where's Butler County, Ohio? Right now, Ohio's kind of dodging a lot of this. You can see northeastern Ohio on Friday. Slight severe threat up there. Northwestern Ohio on Friday. But for the most part, Ohio's missing a lot of this. These are for severe weather. But when you get severe weather risk zones in April and May, a lot of times, especially with this type of troughing pattern. Okay, you can see we have westerlies up here, we have southerlies down here. You're gonna get rotation along these boundaries, along these kind of ridges that build up through the central plains. We can look down at our lower level jet too. There's going to be a lot of shear. There's going to be a lot of shear in these events in April and May. So there's almost always tornado potential when you get these 15% from the SPC. Trough has trended more fast on the latest model trends for Sunday, which could lead to more of a downtrend. Sunday. Yeah, I still like Saturday. I still like Saturday evening. I think Saturday evening could be impressive. Through portions of, I think this region, Saturday evening could do something, guys. Could include DFW, OKC, Tulsa. We'll have to see. Little Rock. We'll have to see Saturday. All right, Kalyana, I appreciate you being in here. LCL, I live there. We'll just make sure you know what's going on. All right? Listen, this thing could downtrend. So I'm posted every day and I'm on every night. Something's new. Every day I wake up, I'm like, what the heck happened with these models? Sometimes they do what I think they're going to do. Sometimes they don't. So Nashville. The Euro doesn't even have any severe weather getting into Nashville. The GFS does. We'll have to see, if they agree or not. Again, we got a high that wants to float down here for a while, that wants to really block off a lot of the worst weather in the southeast and do portions of Tennessee. We'll have to see how that affects Saturday. Can I golf in St. Louis this weekend? Be a lot of thunderstorms in St. Louis this weekend. You'd have to time it really well. Yeah. I see Saturday uptrending. I see Sunday possibly downtrending, but I don't know. I think Saturday and Sunday both have the ability to be more impressive than Friday. Chicago Burbs Friday and Sunday. Well, Friday's where the Chicago threat would be. All right, guys. I'll be posting another update on all of this crap tomorrow. Look, we got this. We got Colorado State University has us in severe weather threat zones every single day until next Wednesday. But we'll probably get more on from there, if I'm being honest with the setup we have. So there's going to be lots. I'm going to be posting updates on all this stuff every day. We will have our short-range models in for Thursday and the beginning of the Friday setup tomorrow, so I'll add that in the video. And then I'll be back on live streaming so we can go over. I think tomorrow's live stream will have a lot more details of this on this Friday setup. There's a lot of cities in here. Like I said, DFW, OKC, Tulsa, St. Louis. What do we got here? Detroit, Grand Rapids, Indianapolis, Chicago, and all the other smaller ones in between. Friday could affect a lot of people, so let's hope that downtrends. I just realized this looks like a wrench. This literally is a wrench. This is Pivotal Weather. I appreciate you guys following me. But yeah, I post every day. I'll post updates. I'll post video updates tomorrow, and then I'll get on live tomorrow. I'm going to be in the office all day tomorrow, so I'm probably not even going to post my video until about 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow. But that's good because I want to get the later model runs in so we can really see what's happening on Friday, and then we'll get on live and we'll talk about it. I'm always finding weird stuff on the map. Yep, we'll be talking about it, Red. Grand Rapids, Michigan technically could get a tornado Friday based on what we're looking at in the model runs. But again, we could see an uptrend or downtrend in Friday. So we don't know. The conditions look like they could be there for a tornado in Michigan or tornadoes in Michigan. But when you're outside of this 48-hour severe weather, time frame, there's going to be a lot of changes in what we expect. Everyone have a great night. I appreciate you guys. If you want to throw me a follow, I'll be back on posting tomorrow, and I'll be back on live, and we'll be going over all this stuff. I'm a little busy this week because I go on leave next week, and so, well, kind of. And so I'm wrapping up a lot of stuff at my 9 to 5. It's keeping me a little busy, but I will be still posting every day, and I'll be on live every night so we can talk about this because this is going to be a crazy couple weeks. I appreciate all you being in here. All the new people, all the regulars, you know who you are. Pam, I love you. You're the best. Everyone have a great night. I'll be back tomorrow.